There's a lot of things we take for granted in Minnesota. Hot dishes, polar plunges, a lot of other really fun things. And if you were going to put a face to what Minnesota represents, it might be that Midwestern mom. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so your personality is so big, and you're on everything from TikTok to Facebook to pretty much everywhere. I've seen you on the news. Now you obviously have a niche, which is kind of small town Minnesota, the funny things that, again, we might take for granted. Can you give me kind of an inside look into what the life of that Midwestern mom is?
Oh my gosh, it's been so crazy lately, especially with more appearances that I've been making in the community. I recently did the Polar Plunge. I did 2 hot dish festivals. I'm going to do an event here in Fargo. I teach during the day. I go home in the afternoon and I think of TikTok ideas. I'm constantly, I've got my notebook by my side even when I'm watching TV. I'm writing down ideas and answering emails and like uploading content to my social media channels, I guess you would call them. I'm kind of old school. I don't even know what to call them. They just kind of happened. It was all by accident. So it started with Minnesota salads.
Of course it did.
And that was my 1-year anniversary is coming up on St. Patrick's Day. That's when I posted the first Minnesota salad. It was Watergate salad because it's green. And it just took off from there. And then the whole persona kind of like just organically happened. I don't even know how.
And you technically do live in a small town
in
Minnesota.
Yep,
and so of course you get to see these things every day. And you know, some of us kind of in the cities are a little more like when we go home, for instance, for family dinners, this is what we experience, right? You've got always the Jell-O in the salad, and we've got all the different things, but you're not pigeonholed to cooking either.
Yeah.
You have a lot of really fun stuff you talk about.
Yeah, I talk about the weather. Obviously, that's a big thing. Nobody understands the weather. Talk about ice fishing, polar plunging, small town parades. People don't realize that parades are really unique to the Midwest, especially you know, with the candy that we throw and the queens, the festivals, you know, there's potato days, there's turkey days, there's water carnival in Detroit Lakes. That is very classically Midwestern. And outside of this environment, we don't realize that the rest of the world doesn't know what we're doing. And so that's been the fun part about TikTok, is I get to highlight that cute, like wholesome small town life here in the Midwest.
And you must have a lot of followers from outside the Midwest, probably equally as many as inside here, because we can understand and we can relate to these things. Whereas outside, they're like, why would you jump in freezing cold water? But it's a thing we do here. It's normal.
Yeah, it's a thing. And I mean, of course, it was a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club. That's the #1 reason, but Detroit Lakes has been doing it for quite a few years. And so the Boys and Girls Club approached me and asked me if I would do it, and I hadn't thought about it for a long time. I went into it pretty late, but yeah, it was it was a really fun event, especially since the weather was above 0 that day. That was a big thing to make it more enjoyable.
Oh my goodness. So now you have a lot going on in your life. Obviously you're teaching, you have the TikTok videos, you have different content that you produce. What would you say out of the ones that you've done, maybe what is the more fun? What do you really, really love? Or have you done a video that's your favorite so far?
Oh my gosh, you never know what's going to go viral. That's the funniest thing. And recently I did a video on my mom's hair salon on Main Street of this tiny town. And that one blew up on Facebook, and I've never had a viral video on Facebook.
Wow.
And so it was so many hairdressers saying my salon's the same way. You know, I remember the Yak Shack. I remember going to the hair salon with my family. It was like, you know, going to the main event in the small town. That one surprised me, and it surprised the heck out of my mom. That was pretty cute.